Hi, my name is Shane, and here at Etrailer, we install, test fit, and review different products to hopefully make your process much easier. Here I have a 2015 Jeep Compass. Today I'm going to walk through how to install the Curt Simple Vehicle Wiring Harness. This wiring harness, this is what it's going to look like when it's installed. It's going to give us our 4-pole connection. It's easy to install. It's going to connect behind each taillight to factory wiring. The only thing we really have to do is run a power wire up to the battery. It's going to give us a converter box, and what the converter box does, it protects the factory wiring on the vehicle when you have a trailer hooked up. So let's say we have a trailer hooked up and there's a short or something in the wiring. What happens with a short is it likes to backfeed. Well, when it backfeeds, if you don't have that converter box, it's going to backfeed right into your factory wiring on the vehicle itself, and it's going to affect it. This is going to give us our 4-pole connection. It's also going to come with a dust cap, which you can see it doubles as a holder when we're not using it, as to help keep it off the ground. It's also going to, the dust cap is going to help keep any dirt and debris from getting in our connections. It's going to give us our turn signals, brake lights, and running lights. Another nice thing about this wiring harness is even though it connects behind our taillights, that connection is only receiving the signal from our taillights. We're not pulling any power. The power wire that runs up to the battery, so if we have a trailer that has extra lights on it, it's going to be pulling power from the battery and not from our lights. If we didn't have that power wire and we were just connected behind the taillights, if we still had that same trailer with the extra lights, it's actually going to pull power from our factory lights and cause them to dim. We don't have that issue with this wiring harness. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let's walk through how to get it installed. To start our installation, we need to remove our taillights. Open your hatch. You're going to have 2 push-pin fasteners right here. Now, these can be a little bit of a pain to get out. You take a flathead screwdriver, try to get in one of these notches here, and you're going to pry that center out. If you have a trim panel tool, you can use it. But what we want to do is we want to get underneath of that thinner piece so we can pop it out of place. Like that. Do the same thing with this bottom one and the same thing on the other side of the vehicle. Then we're going to pop our light out. We're going to pull straight back, and then we need to disconnect our wiring. You're going to have a red tab here. Make sure that it is pushed up like that. And what you're going to do, you're going to push right here. And sometimes these can be a pain too. They don't want to lift up over the little tab there. Once you get it off, you're going to repeat the same process on the other side. What we need to do is we need to take something and drop it down behind our fascia so it falls out the bottom. A piece of string with a nut on the end works great. Like that. Now we're going to take our wiring harness. Converter box is going to have a black wire coming off it. We're going to take one of our butt connectors. We're going to put it on that wire. We're going to take the black wire that comes in your kit. We're going to tie it right on this nut. And feed it back up through the bottom here. We're going to strip back the end. We're going to add it on to the other end of the butt connector. Then we'll run some electrical tape around that. We're going to take the 2-sided sticky tape that comes in our kit. We're going to mount it on one side of our box, converter box. We're going to push that into place. And we're going to mount this right down inside here. On our body, straight down, there's a nice flat piece. You want to make sure that's cleaned off because it does get a little dusty in there. And we're going to take this. We're going to feed our 4-pole down. We'll be able to grab it from the bottom. as well as a green and red wire with the two connectors on the ends. That's going to be going over to our passenger side. I'm going to take this. And try and go as low as I can with it. I'm going to stick that right into place. Then we'll mount our ground wire. We'll mount the ground wire right here. Kit's going to come with the self-tapper. You just want to make sure it's on metal, make sure the metal's clean there. We're going to take these ends. We're going to put some dielectric grease. What this is going to do is going to help, because this is open to the elements, it's going to help your connections if any moisture gets in there in between your plugs. It's going to help keep your connection points from corroding. Push them together. Don't forget your lock. And it'll pop right back in place. Now we need to get our 4-pole in over to our hitch. The other side going to our passenger side, we need to get it ran across, staying away from our muffler and our exhaust, and get it up to the other tail light. What we're going to do is we're going to take out the 4 fasteners on the bottom here, and these are going to be similar to the ones behind the tail lights. You just pry out the center and then the base. These connect to a plastic bracket that runs down like this, and rather than trying to reach up there and try to feed the wire back, so what I did is I went over the top of my hitch, over the top of my cross tube from the outside. I went around like this, tucked it up back behind here, and when I got over this side, I went back over the top and then out of the bottom, so that when I pull it tight, that wire will fold over to the front side or to this outside of my hitch and stays away from my exhaust. For my 4-pole, where I took this out, as I was talking about earlier, I just took this and tucked it up in there, ran it right here, and then I'll be able to connect it just like that, and then I can take the rest of it and push it up in there, zip tie it or whatever I need to do to clean it up. Now if you install your dust cap, it'll hold your 4-pole into your safety chain loop. Then you can pull up the rest of it, as I talked about. We'll just kind of bundle it up here. We'll get it zip tied together. And you can see the reason I did it like this, we got plenty of length we can hook up to our trailer. We can take the rest of this, when we're not using it, we just tuck it up behind our fascia so it stays nice and tight and looks clean. For our passenger side, if we're using the nut with the spring, take your wire and kind of fold it over, feed it through the nut, and just take one of your plugs, just feed it through like that. And this will allow us to pull it up like we did on the driver's side. Next we need to get our power wire, bring it up to the front of the vehicle and up to the driver's side engine compartment where the battery is. Now when running your line to the front, you want to make sure you're staying away from anything hot or moving. Just give me an idea how I did it. From the back, I went zip tied it right to this factory line right here to keep it pulled in as much as possible. And I went straight over the top here. There's factory lines that run right up here. I went over the top of them, and they come out right over here. And all I did was file those hard lines to here, right there. These little clips that run along here, I took my wire and just fed it through right above this hard line, all the way down to here, through a zip tie here and a zip tie here, and that keeps it up tight, running the same as our factory wire. Pull wire, I'm using an airline tube. You can use pretty much anything that you can get down. It's fairly open, and then when I go up top, I can take this, my pull wire, pull it up, and it'll pull the rest of my line up. I will suggest when you pull it up, double check down here to make sure that you don't have, this wire likes to curl up, make sure it's not caught on anything. So what I suggest is you're going to have some extra for your passenger side. Pull it up tight, zip tie your plug to the factory wiring, and then we can take the rest of this We'll kind of bundle it up. Make sure we can get our plugs together. And then we'll zip tie that to the factory wiring as well. And then once you get to this point, you just repeat the process you did on the driver's side for making your connections to the taillight and reinstalling the taillight. So you're going to have a little port for your air box. Just turn these two tabs and you can slide this out, and then your battery's right underneath of it. Make sure my wire stays up tight. You can either zip tie it to this bracket or you can zip tie it to this factory wiring here. I'm actually going to zip tie it to the factory wiring. It is a little bit tougher to get down in here, but it'll kind of hide the wire a little bit better. We're going to follow this over to the positive side of our battery. We're going to cut it to length. We're going to strip back the end. Add on the butt connector that comes in your kit. And take your fuse holder, strip back both ends. We're going to add a ring terminal on one end. Other end will go into our butt connector. And then we can attach that to the positive side of our battery. You're going to make sure the fuse is not in the holder when you make that connection. You can take a 10mm socket, go ahead and remove a nut on the positive side of the battery. We'll add on a ring terminal, reinstall the nut. Once you have that tightened down, you can install your fuse. Now we're going to test out our wiring using a simple wiring tester that you can find here at Etrailer. It's part number I26. Right turn, left turn, brake lights, running lights. It's going to do it for a look at and installation on the Curt simple vehicle wiring harness on a 2015 Jeep Compass.